Welcome back to the real ish. Alright, so man, let's jump right into this video. Alright, so I watched 3 movies recently and I'm gonna talk about every last one of them in the order of how I watched them. Alright, jumping right into this one, man. Alright, so the first one I'm gonna talk about is a film from 2024. It's called Imaginary. Alright, it says Imaginary is a supernatural horror film from Blumhouse, and it's about a woman, Jessica, who moves back to her childhood home with her new family only to discover her stepdaughter's imaginary friend, a teddy bear named Chauncey, is a real and malevolent entity from her past. Alright, so looking at the trailer, I wasn't too sold on this movie. I didn't think that it was going to be like the best movie in the world either, but I also didn't think it was going to be what it was. Alright, so as it states, you have a woman who's married to a man and he has 2 children. The youngest stepdaughter starts having this imaginary friend named Chauncey. And let me slow down. The beginning of this movie, the opening of it, I was kind of confused. I don't know, it didn't really pull me in. Instead of pulling me into the movie and making me be interested, I almost wanted to kind of turn it off. But yeah, so they moved back into our childhood house, I believe, and the youngest stepdaughter's imaginary friend is named Chauncey. Come to find out, it is an imaginary friend that she had when she was little. Something about the kids disappearing, and I don't know. It's trying to connect the story between her past and the kids. So it's I was trying to figure out how could her imaginary friend become hers, and that's not even her biological daughter, but whatever. So yeah, so that's basically what it's about. And this lady who was her old babysitter, this old lady, she had a lot of information on her and what happened with her dad and everything, her being Jessica, the stepmother. And I think her dad is in a hospital and something happened. We find out later on in the movie that the dad sacrificed his I don't know, his well-being or whatever to get her back from the weird underworld or wherever she was at. I don't know. You have to see this movie yourself, honestly. But Chauncey is supposed to be this teddy bear, but it's an imaginary friend. And okay, it's confusing because I was confused because I thought everybody saw her carrying around the teddy bear, which was her imaginary friend. But in actuality, only people that saw the teddy bear was her and the stepmother. Everybody else saw nothing there. She's carrying this bear and it looks like this, nothing. So, I didn't really know that at first. So I guess that's why she was the only one that could see it. But this imaginary friend was telling her different things to do and to hurt herself, and basically it was trying to pull the stepmother back in, I guess. And they go to this wherever world, and the old lady that was her babysitter ended up being weird and wanted to stay there in this other world, which I kind of figured she was odd in the first place. They didn't really do a good job at trying to hide that. But if it sounds like it's all over the place, it's because, the movie just kind of wasn't it for me. I guess the movie could have been better, but I don't know. It's hard to even explain because it just wasn't that great of a movie. I think if you turn this on, you might be thinking or looking for something more. The graphics and stuff just wasn't there for me. It kind of looked, I don't know, it looked really animated, and I don't know, I just didn't like the way they looked and made the creepy bear and stuff look. I don't know, you just have to see it yourself. On Reddit, someone said those home movies look modern as hell. They did. The home movies in the beginning, it's supposed to be from the, I don't know, back in the day when that stepmother Jessica was younger, they looked so modern. Yeah, somebody said I feel like it had so much potential. It did. It had a lot of potential, but it just felt really flat for me. People are saying they think it's more of a comedy, but it's supposed to be a horror mystery. But yeah, somebody said the only scary thing about this film is that multiple professional screenwriters were involved in this script they produced. I don't know. But that's basically what it's about. About imaginary friend being tied to not only the stepdaughter, but basically being the imaginary friend from the stepmother, and she's trying to go rescue her and bring her out so she won't disappear forever. That's basically what it's about. But the animations and it all looks really, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of I was watching an old Disney Channel movie or something, I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. My rating for this movie would be about a 5 or 6. I don't even know if I'll give it a 6, so maybe just a 5. Alright, jumping into the next movie, The Strangers Chapter 1. Alright, I've talked about The Strangers, the original one on this channel, previous times, the original from what, 2008, 2007, something like that. That one is very scary. We all know the famous line for that. They say, why are you doing this? In the original Strangers, they say, because you were home. To me, I always say on this channel, I've always let it be known that that was just creepy to me, because you can be in your own home, minding your business, and someone could come and, you know, get you for that reason just because you were home. So I like The Strangers, the old one, because it already has that terrifying, you know, sense to it, you know. I only saw The Strangers, the original, and the 2018 The Strangers, I think Pray at Night. Those are the only ones I saw. Those are the only ones that are worth seeing. So with that being said, The Strangers Chapter 1 is from 2024. It's a horror film. Plot follows a young couple whose car breaks down in a remote town, forcing them to stay in a secluded Airbnb where they are terrorized by 3 masked killers. So essentially, this movie is basically a rinse and repeat of the first one, except for they're in an Airbnb. It's also their anniversary. I believe the first one is their anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. Let's go check. The Strangers 2008 is a psychological horror film about a couple terrorized by 3 masked intruders at a remote vacation home, inspired by real-life break-ins and the Manson's family murders. The film is known for its intense atmosphere, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it's a lot of things about this movie, and the newer one is the same. The whole girl knock at the door, asked about, is Tamara home? That's, you know, that was in the first one to see if someone was home, but it's like in this, I guess, I don't know if it's even is it a remake, whatever. In this chapter 1 of it, it is like a repeated over and over. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, they're trying to scare her, see if it's someone's home. You know, but they kind of went on and on with it. And I've heard about this movie. I just never thought to watch it. And then it was on Peacock also. By the way, it only has a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. But yeah, it's like almost a rinse and repeat. The car break down, they're in an Airbnb instead of a vacation home. The other couple in the original one, they weren't home either, but they were in a house. And those people wouldn't have known if they were in their own home or not, because the strangers' attacks are random, so they don't know if those people lived at home either. But in this one, they're in an Airbnb, their car break down, and the people in the town are already weird. They're already making everybody strange in the whole movie, and that's something they didn't do in the original, because it's random attacks, so they didn't make other people look guilty, if you know what I'm saying. So initially, their car breaks down, and the man that owns the garage, he tells them he can work on it, but they have to, you know, stay overnight, blah, blah, blah. And then they eat at this diner. Everybody's looking at them weird. There's a few people that think that the people at the diner that they met when they went to go eat are some of the strangers. I don't know. But this movie is really stupid. It's really stupid because they had plenty of time, plenty of chances to get away. I don't even know why they would go stay at this Airbnb. They don't even know anybody. They're complaining in the Airbnb about the refrigerator not being on, but why complain just to put your beer in there? You're only staying for one night. Who cares? He has asthma. He left his inhaler. The boyfriend, don't know his name, forgot his name. Does he have a name? Ryan, that's his name. And he leaves his inhaler. He realizes it's in the vehicle, so they find a motorcycle out there. He leaves her after somebody already been beating on the door asking for Tamara. They already been weird hearing things, and then he decides to leave her in this house, even though they've heard things. They've already said that they have terrible service and everything. He goes get on this motorcycle that's out there, goes all the way back to the vehicle. It takes him at least 5.5 hours. It seems so long to me, but her being at the house, it seems like things are happening. Yeah, but anyway, so she's getting not even attacked while he's gone, but weird stuff keep happening. Someone keeps beating on the door, somebody walking around inside. You know, it's really slow. It's really slow to get to it. And if you've seen The Strangers, you know what happens, you know, but it's just like, I'm speeding ahead. It doesn't matter. The in-between doesn't matter. But like, they had multiple times to kill them. The Ryan guy had one of the strangers like at gunpoint with a shotgun, and he refuses to shoot her. Like, he's doing all this talking like, I can't remember what he's saying because it's stupid, but he has it at her head like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, shut up. She don't even care. She's doing all this stuff like, you know, and putting the gun at her head. She doesn't care. You could have been blew her head off, and a lot of people are upset about that. And he accidentally shoots the owner of the Airbnb. He eventually comes after calling about the refrigerator. He thinks it's one of the strangers. He comes around the corner. He shoots that man in 2 seconds, but he couldn't kill the actual stranger at point blank range. Make it make sense. This movie was a load of BS. Let's go on Reddit real quick. Let's go. I don't even have to explain the rest of this movie because it's just dumb. A lot of people say it's terrible, truly terrible. Somebody said, how did 3 people write this movie? So many dumb decisions. This was infuriating. And it's so bad. You know, a movie is bad when everybody is rooting for the main couple to get killed. That's insane. It's like, it's so bad, it's so awful. Just go away and just go ahead and do away with these 2 idiots. Like, that's basically what it was. I mean, I'm not gonna go through every little detail of this movie. You can go watch it yourselves. It was terrible. Terrible acting, terrible decision making, terrible writing. How can you make this terrible when you're going off of a movie that already exists? And then to make it so bad at the end, she survives, Ryan dies, and then get it. Oh, they said because you were home line. That's the original. Because you were home. No, they say something like, oh, because you were here or something. It doesn't hit the same. It's almost like, huh? Like what? They could have came with something else. They could have said like why us? And they could have been like,
why not?
That's what I would have did.
Why not? Why not?
I don't know. They gave it some creepiness. I don't know. They shouldn't have made this movie in the first place. And they make it so bad. She's alive. The girl, what is her name? Maggie? I don't know. She's alive. Ryan's dead. They show her in a hospital at the end. And she's in a hospital. Her face doesn't look like her face. I don't know. This girl looks like 10 different people in the movie. And she gets up and one of the strangers, the one with the bag over his head or whatever that is, a potato sack, he's in the, you know, lean up and she, I'm like, how don't you feel him? It's been plenty of times in this movie where one of the strangers are making so much noise, creaking in this old house, creaking noises. And then it's been plenty of times they be behind them and they don't even know it. So it's somebody in your bed in the hospital and you don't even know it. Like, and it goes off like that. And they're making, I think they made a 2 and a 3, chapter 2 and 3. People say they're awful, and I don't understand the point. I think they should have just left it alone. Some things that's what I mean by Hollywood doesn't know how to leave things alone. They have no creativity to come up with their own stuff. Just leave it alone, man. Anyway, I could go on and on about that, but I'm not. All right, so lastly is one that's really a joke by Chris Stokes. I never have discussed a movie by Chris Stokes on here because horrible. I can go through some of his movies that he's made. We all know like some stuff he made, like You Got Served and stuff, but we're gonna talk about his horror ones he tried to do. He tried to do a horror movie, Somebody Help Me. I saw that years ago. Terrible. He's made a few, he like Stepmother, he's made Stepmother, Rock the Boat. All of these movies are on Tubi and they all suck. Oh, and I can't forget this one right here. I think he did this movie early this year. I don't know. But it was terrible. It's supposed to be like a sci-fi thriller. These are supposed to be aliens. Terrible. Just terrible. Don't watch this either. Alright, so this one, I only watched this because I am familiar with the people in it. Taye Diggs stars in this. Tamar Braxton. Stepfather. We all know where you get the name from. Stepfather is a psychological thriller directed by Chris Stokes, as I stated. The movie follows a man with a traumatic past who hunts for the perfect family, but goes to deadly lengths when his new wife and stepdaughter fail to meet his obsessive expectations. This movie is horrible. This movie is just a rip off of the actual Stepfather movie from 2009. It is a psychological thriller and remake of the actual original 1987 film starring Dylan Wash. He's a charming man who marries into a family only for the teenage son, Michael Penn Bagley from You, to suspect he's a serial killer who preys on families. As Michael investigates David's past, he uncovers a dark secret leading to a tense conflict as David tries to maintain his perfect facade and eliminate anyone who gets too close to the truth. This film, for me, the original, it only has 5 out of 10 on IMDb, but I can watch this. Now, the original from 1987, I haven't actually watched that Stepfather movie. After seeing these pictures, I definitely have seen this original film, The Stepfather from 1987. But the one from 2009, I can watch it, okay? So fast forward to 2026, you have Chris Stokes, a very terrible director and writer, he want to make his own version of Stepfather, and it's absolutely terrible. How does this have also a 5.6? I don't know. Sorry, let me go back. I didn't even rate The Stranger movie. The Stranger movie, I will give it, I guess, a 5 also. Back to the 2026. I don't know how this has a 5 out of 10 also. I'll save my rating for the end. This movie is so bad. It's really terrible. Everything's bad. The acting, the story, the plot, everything. Like I mentioned, he has a movie that he did with the female Erica Mena, and he was doing these. He made several of these on Tubi, and it's called Stepmother. This Stepfather movie is the same exact concept and everything he did with the Stepmother movie with this female. He just reversed it and added a man, and it's the same thing. Traumatic trauma from the past, and trying to find a perfect family. You don't even understand the trauma, and you don't understand why he's obsessed with trying to find a family. If you want your own family so badly, why don't you have your own biological children? I don't know, but it's the same rinse and repeat. Chris Stokes, this director, writer, Marcus Houston, used to be Batman and IMX. He also writes and screenwrites these with him. Terrible. But all they do is take other movies and turn them and try to make them into something, but they're terrible. You're just using other people's ideas and they're bad. Okay, this movie is terrible. From Taye Diggs acting, which is crazy because we know Taye Diggs have been in a lot of things. Best Man, Stella Got a Groove Back. Taye Diggs has been the Wood. He's been in plenty of movies, and his catalog has some really great movies on there. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best actor in the world, but he can clearly do better than what I saw here. Like, from the opening of the movie, it's just terrible. 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 And don't get me started on Tamar Braxton. Oh my gosh. Like, she's never been an actor. She's literally playing Tamar. She's supposed to be playing someone else, but she's literally playing Tamar. The daughter, both daughters, terrible. Their father, terrible. The little boy that's supposed to be Taye Diggs when he was younger, terrible. The cops, terrible. The therapist, terrible. Everyone is terrible in this movie, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It had no direction. It had no story. It had nothing. It was terrible. It's like a bunch of random people came together and said, let's just make a movie. About what? I don't know. Let's just go. Let's just improv. Like, somebody said this on Reddit. Somebody said his name in the movie is Darnell, but they said that Tamar called him Daryl instead of Darnell. I didn't even know that. Somebody said Tubi originals are certainly known for their quality. Somebody said they never really connected with them. They kept waiting for something. Nothing was going to happen. I don't know why you would wait. Nothing was going to happen. Somebody said Taye Diggs can't save Tubi's familiar, uninspired retread. I thought the acting and the cinematography in the movie was awful. Absolutely awful. The only one that can act was Taye Diggs. He was even terrible. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie is so slow, and Taye Diggs did alright, but even him couldn't save the movie. I fell asleep on it. I had to finish it the next day just so I can do this review. Somebody said a waste of time. The script is so poorly written, as all his movies are. Very rushed. The dialogue was so unrealistic. Too on the nose and heavy-handed. The cast performance, terrible. That's an hour and a half that I can't get back on my life. Taye Diggs did the best he could. Did he? I say definitely don't watch this. For this movie, I have to give it a 3. Yep, I have to give it a 3. If you never heard of Chris Stokes, I listed some of the movies that he has done. I said them before I start talking about this movie right here, but he's like the M. Night Shyamalan. He's like the Tyler Perry. These are all people that ruin their own stuff, and it's just terrible writing, terrible everything, you know. Like, and maybe had a couple good things before, if that, but you know, just terrible. Like, these are all the people that should not be writing or directing anything else ever again in life. And I'm sure it's more directors out there, you know, but that's the whole movie of Stepfather. He has trauma. He keeps finding a family, and it's like, honestly, like they said, it's poorly written. I don't even know what I watched. I have no idea. With all 3 of these movies, I don't know what I looked at. I can't tell you. Like, I can go off of what I remember, but that's all I can do. These would have to be some of the worst movies I've ever seen. Some of these 3 movies were terrible. And I say that a lot when I do reviews about bad movies, but these were not even laughable. Like, it was really, like, bad. So those are the 3 movies right there. Imaginary. I don't even know if that's called Imaginary or Imaginary Friend. Whatever. Imaginary, The Strangers Chapter 1, and Stepfather 2026. Excuse me, Stepfather, not the. It's terrible. I do not recommend any of these. Yeah, no, don't watch it. That's it for this one. Let me know, have you seen any of those movies? I have another video lined up next week. Gonna talk about some strange facts from your favorite horror movies. All right, so stick around, subscribe to the channel, like this video, let me know what you think down below, and I will see y'all in the next video. God bless. With all three of these movies, I don't know what I looked at. I can't tell you. Like,